Hey, welcome to Parrot Gaming Productions, where my name is Jared, as always. And today we have episode 83. We have another friend from over the pond. Her name is Adrienne. Adrienne, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Adrienne Grody. I am across the pond oh God, sorry. Sorry, I'm very nervous. I'm living in the UK at the moment, and I am here to talk about gaming, selfies, and whatever else happens to come out of my gob during this segment. So here we are.
Fantastic.
Hello, by the way. Sorry, I didn't even like greet you in the thing. Hello, Jared. It's lovely to be here with you. Uh,
It's all good. This podcast is so informal. It's just kind of whatever. So no worries. There's no
all right, good. I need to chill out a bit.
yeah, there's no set standard. Like half, to be honest with you, like half of my podcasts that I do are literally off the cuff. Like it's just like I log in, go, hey, what's all in the gaming news tonight, or whatever I listen to. So just let it fly. It's all right.
All good. Chilling out, getting into it again.
Yeah.
All right, we're good.
So the first game that I'm interested in that you have here is DDR. That's a hell of a game to start off with. It's very physical. Like, tell me about the introduction to DDR.
Sure. So, back in the day, like I think I'm showing my age by saying I was in high school at the time. It was something that I came across with a group of friends that I had. We'd go to the arcade, as you do at the mall, on like a Friday night, and DDR was like all the rage at this time. I had at this point, I had like 10 years of like dance training from when I was a kid. So, video games and dancing and something I could do with friends was like a big, it was the perfect storm, I suppose. So I got really into it. And, I had one friend in particular, his name is Jay, and we would go together to the arcade every Saturday and just practice our moves. And basically we practice in the morning so that when the evening time came around, we could like, do all the tricks and stuff like that. So it was quite good. I ended up investing in some pads, for at home so I could continue the craze. On my own or with my siblings as well. But I think for me with DDR, that was the first time that I felt I could be like quite open about the fact that, I was a gamer. Because I think before then, I was into Pokemon and stuff like that, but it was all very like underground
Mm-hmm.
sort of stuff. Like, wouldn't be open about it, like in my, in the people I knew and stuff. It was just like, oh, you play Pokemon. All right, I play Pokemon. Like, let's do some trades and stuff like that. But yeah, with DDR, I think that's when I first started to feel comfortable with the fact that, it was something I liked doing, and I had friends that I could openly speak to about that. And I think from there, my interest in gaming, I still call myself a casual, I suppose, but, it's just sort of, I felt I got more into it from that specific point, branching out to other games with that group of friends and sort of onward and upward, I suppose. So yeah, that's DDR.
All right. With DDR, would you like build up a sweat running on the pads and stuff like that?
Hell yeah. Like it was great. I suppose in looking back, it was fantastic exercise, but I didn't realize it at the time because I was, a super caffeinated 16-year-old. It was just like, yeah, like but yeah, I worked up quite a sweat. And at the time when I was more nimble, I there were some tricks that you could do, like jumping over the bar at certain parts.
Ugh.
Like I remember for this one song, Dynamite Rave, you if you played on like the not the easy mode but the second mode up from that, there's this one bit where you can run around the pads and then jump over for like this like to hit the left and the right pads. And I could actually do it at that time. I can't now. Like I wouldn't even dare try. But just getting to the point where you could build up these tricks and stuff like that and made it something to aspire to, like during playing the game. But yeah, I got probably pretty sweaty and pretty gross playing those games. But it was such good fun that you didn't even notice.
Well, I mean, building up those tricks, so like that was like a little bit of flair for the audience. Then I take it, just like trying to like show
Oh
off.
yeah.
Oh, What?
Oh yeah, it's just to show that you're like really good at the game and like, obviously being young, it's like those are your cool points at that time. So like there were bits where you could like there were parts of the song that I'd memorized backwards so I could face sort of the audience and just do those bits and stuff like that. And it was just I was obsessed like with just learning all these little things. And I remember there was this one guy in particular who played at the arcade, and he was just a legend. And every time like he'd show up, I'd be like, oh my God, we need to watch this guy get some tricks like in our heads and figure out where we're going from, like what are we doing next. And he was a legend. I have no idea who he was, what his name was, or what he's even doing with his life now. But wherever you are out there in the world, he was a that man was a DDR god. And yeah, I proper respected him.
Dude, I love that when there are people out there that are just on par with exactly what you want. People who are awesome like that, where when they show up, you're like, yeah, these are the individuals that I want to impress. What was there anybody that looked up to you in that sort of manner, where like you were that
Uh,
dude?
I don't really know. I wish. I don't know if anybody ever said, like, nobody ever said to me like, "Oh, you were so sick at DDR." But I do remember there was one time I was playing. This was just one time down the shore, and there was a DDR machine there. So I was like, "All right, let's give it a go." And I did capture an audience. Like there was like a few like other kids who were like watching, and I was like equal parts like, oh, this is so exciting, and also like, oh my God, I don't hope I don't fuck this up like at the same time. So it was a lot of pressure, but it was a nice moment. I think. But there were a lot of people I think at that time, like in my friendship circle and outside of it, who were, had their own tricks up their sleeve. So I was just happy to be part of a crew. Do you know what I mean? Like part of a group that
Mm-hmm.
all had their own bits going on and, learning from each other and stuff like that.
And you were speaking to the group dynamic. Like apparently, Pokemon was not something that everybody knew you did or everybody knew that you played. Was that kind of like? And you were talking about the underground. Like, kind of was that like something that not a lot of people enjoyed when you were a kid, or was that kind of taboo, if you will, when you were a teenager or younger?
'Cause I remember the back in the day, I think there was a huge, gaming, obviously the perspective of gaming is so different nowadays where it's very accepted and spoken about. And I think a lot of people are, whether they're casual gamers or, super pro, I think a lot more people are willing to speak about their experience, with games, and that it's become more of a culturally acceptable thing, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
But I think back in the day, it really because this was like the 90s, I suppose. And I guess as like a young girl who was growing up and trying to sort of fit in and you know sort of going from like girlhood to womanhood, I suppose. I felt that might have been something that I had to sort of hide away about myself at the time. Like I wasn't very confident as like a young kid. And I remember a particular experience when I was really into Mortal Kombat when I was young. I loved Kitana. I thought she was an absolute badass. And I remember asking somebody in my fourth grade class about like what buttons to push to
Mm-hmm.
do the moves. And because I didn't have like the guide, and that's the only way that you know at the
Yeah.
time. So I asked him, I was like, how do you do this move? How do you do this move? And he goes, what do you want to like be her or something? And I was just like, and since then, I think I really put that part of myself away, I guess. And then it was only when somebody else would say to me, like, oh, I play Pokemon. Like I had a neighbor friend who she was so lovely and we carpooled together to school. And I found out that she played Pokemon, and it just became like our little like hidden secret, like, fighting Pokemon, catching them all together and stuff like that. And I was really grateful for her because, we've since lost touch, but it was nice to have like at least one person to have that outlet with. Like, even though it wasn't like, I am a Pokemon fan, like out and in the world, like it was just nice to share that moment with someone else who might have been looking for the same thing.
Oh, for sure. I've met a couple of people in the military that I had no idea played Dungeons and Dragons, and like that was a big thing for me. I wanted to play D&D really really bad, and I remember one of my sergeants showed me, and I was like, "Wait, you play D&D?" Because I know that feeling of being the outcast. Like I was the new dude for 2 3 years of my 6 year career in the military, and just anything and everything I did wasn't like the normal, like, oh, you listen to heavy metal, oh, you listen to Insane Clown Posse. It's like, oh, what you, yeah, everybody's like country and this, and so like I understand that, and it's nice when you can find that friend. It is really really nice when you can find the friend. Like, did you like buy the cards with her and like duel it out, or like how, like what did you do with Pokemon cards? What, because I know a lot of people just collected, like that's all I did.
So did collect, but I did play. And there was a toy store near my house, like an independent toy store that had like a Pokemon like league for cards, and it was mostly just kids. And so my parents would take me and my siblings to there, like drop us off while they went to the mall and stuff. And they'd be like, "All right, you're in Pokemon League now." And again, I did meet somebody else who I quite clicked with. God, what was his name? I think it was Chris. And I would duel or battle with him like, you know, quite a bit at this Pokemon League thing. But he was the only person I ever met, and I don't think we went to the same school or anything like that. So I never really saw him outside of this one setting. And that was the only time I really played with other people, though. And it wasn't until I found Pokemon trading card game online that it really brought my love of it back. And I was like, oh, yeah, that was really good. So while I did dabble when I was young, I think it's only been maybe in the last 2 years or so that, I've been on and off playing Pokemon cards again, except online. I haven't really found a place to play in person yet, nor do I have the deck ready to go. But I'm hoping that we'll get there eventually. But we shall see.
I have one question that I always have to ask everybody when it comes to Pokemon. Are you an OG, or do you like, are you inclusive of everything? Because if it's not the original 151, I do not like any seasons or not seasons, but evolutions after that.
If I get that, there's like such a the I feel I'm quite I feel the same as you a little bit in that the original 151 is Pokemon,
Mm-hmm.
and they will always have the closest place in my heart. But I think as I've been adding like a couple games in, so I do play Pokemon Go, I play obviously Pokemon cards, and I've
Mm-hmm.
recently started playing Pokemon Unite, and I think those things have allowed me to appreciate some of the other Pokemon a bit more, I suppose. I've played some of the base games and stuff, and they have been really fun, but I think it's been sort of the offshoot games that have helped me have like an appreciation for some of the newer Pokemon. Like I really like the Alolan versions of Pokemon. I
Yes.
mean, I know they're just like I mean, Alolan Ponyta is just so beautiful. And I do like Alolan Diglett and Dugtrio, especially with the hair and stuff like that. But and then in terms of like other starter Pokemon, like I quite like Cinderace and stuff like that. So I pick into the later seas now I'm saying seasons into the later generations of Pokemon. But the original 151 will always have my right? It's just, do not. But again, that might be my age showing. I wonder if people who are growing up with Pokemon now, or even just a few years ago, who had access to it, as kids, might have a different attachment to, another particular generation of Pokemon.
Yeah.
But yeah, um,
So something that comes interesting. Just a little side note here, because you keep mentioning your age. I'm 34. And a lot of the people that listen to this podcast, according to Spotify, and the statistics are like women who are aged 28 to 35. So I don't know where you're in that spectrum. You don't have to tell me. I know it's super inappropriate to ask somebody, but a lot of people that
yeah.
a lot of people that listen to this podcast are older generations. Like a lot of my buddy Alex, who I'm literally about to go play games with after this interview, he's like 40 something or something like that. So like a lot of the people that I know are a lot older, and they grew up just like us. We're 90s kids. So, and also the Aloha Pokemon, I think are dope. Like they're just like here, festive Pokemon. And it was like great. So
Yeah, it's super fun.
you had mentioned the Pokemon trading card game online. I tried that. Is it that hard? Is it really that hard? Like once you get past the beginner stages, for you?
Um, I think it took me a while to get to um so basically when you start playing, you get given like decks that are
Mm-hmm.
pre-made
Yeah.
and you can purchase more decks with the in-game currency and stuff like that. And I was playing like that for a long time, but I found it quite difficult because some decks are a bit like not I guess a bit over leveled compared to other ones. Like
Mm-hmm.
the one with Charizard and Nidoqueen is like super strong, a super strong deck, and it's really difficult to beat that one, I think, with another pre-made deck. And but so eventually I got to a point where I started collecting enough cards in game that I started building my own decks. So that's how I play now.
Okay.
So I play expanded, which is I think there's like four classifications of um, you know, how like regulations and stuff like that. So I play like the second one up, which gives you a bit more leeway on which cards you can use and that.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just make my own decks. I don't really follow anything, any guides or anything like that. I just kind of look through what I've got and I'm like, that'll do. And then just put them together, see what happens. And then you figure out what works and what doesn't. So I think my favorite card that I put in like all of my decks is pretty much is a Pokemon called Celesteela. I don't even know which generation that one's from, but they're an absolute it's a good card is that because it does decent amount of damage. It rotates your energy around to your other Pokemon, and its GX attack allows you to take your prize cards and then replace them with six cards or whatever cards from your deck. And so it's a great way to like just replenish your hand if you're missing something. And but yeah, so that's my favorite card. Another deck I really like, I've put together a steel deck that is
Ooh.
quite still working on it a bit. But it's the Alolan Diglett and Alolan Doug Trio. I think they're Alolan. Yeah, I think so. And they're just they're quite weak HP wise. But
Mm-hmm.
if you've got like energies, basically the deck, the way it runs is you farm energies. Sorry, I think that's my cat
It's
making
all
noise in
good.
the background. Um, but basically you keep like recycling your energies like from your discard pile into your hand. And then with the Doug Trio, if you discard all your energies that you have, all your steel energies, it does like 30 damage for each energy that
Oh,
you use. So it's a good unexpected like end game type thing when you're just like, all right, how am I going to beat this guy? He's like a GX Pokemon, like he's got loads of HP. All right, let's just trash all my energies with this little drug trio who's got 70 HP. And it's a little sleeper hit, is that, but it's a tough deck to play. I don't know my like wins and loss stats. I don't really keep track, but I imagine it would be around 50-50 because sometimes you just get such bad luck. You don't get any of your pulls that you want, and you're just like
yeah.
so. But
Yeah, I found that out. Like I tried playing because like as soon as you mentioned it, I was like, wait, there's an online card game that I can play for free that gives me everything. I was like, hell yeah! I literally live streamed it for I think it was 3 hours when I found out when you sent me that message about it. I was like, yes. So I tried playing it, signed up, and did everything, and then like I beat the beginner stuff, and then I got into it, and I was like, wait, this is like all skill. This is not skill. This is luck. Like if you don't get that draw, I'm just like, up. He's gonna. Yep. Nope. He's got the game. He's got the game. So I know what you're talking about, and I've seen those Pokemon that are little sleepers where it's like if you do this certain thing, it like you add a energy and it gives you health, or for every one of I think it was some dark Pokemon that basically for every something in your hand that you had, like it did an extra 10 or 20 damage or something like that. And I think I was hitting people for like 800, or not 800, but like 80 or 90 damage when the base damage was only like 20 something. So it was crazy. Like I those little sleepers are insane. You had mentioned like literally as I woke up this morning, you started playing Moab, Pokemon Moab. What is explain that to me. I didn't do any research. I want to hear right from you. What is it?
Okay, so bear with me because my knowledge about like MOBA style games is very limited to literally the last like 3 days. So I just discovered Pokemon Unite, and my other half told me about it, and he was like, "Oh, there's a new Pokemon game," and I was like, "All right, let's give it a go, like see how it goes." And I was immediately sucked into it, and I was, "Oh, this is amazing!" And then I started like looking into the subreddit of it on Reddit and realized I was playing it completely wrong, and that like MOBA style games have been around for a while, like with League of Legends, and I don't really know what other ones there are, but I think there's one called like Smite or something like that
Yep. Yeah.
but so I'm just there's something about the strategy and the speed of the game, like that's just really fun, and the collaborative effort you make with your teammates and stuff like that that really draws me into it. And the length of the games I think is a great, a good 10-minute run is really fun. So but yeah, I'm just learning how sort of the mechanics of how MOBAs work, like what the roles that you're supposed to play are. And at the moment, I've been playing with Talonflame as a jungler, I think it's called. So I go through like the middle of the course to like, get all the Pokemon, score my goals and that, and then assist where I can. I don't know if I'm doing it right, but I'm doing okay. I have a 46% win rate, so it's okay. But I'm really having a fun time with it, and I've had some really good plays, I think, with certain people. I don't know how to add anybody yet, but I remember there was this one gal who was playing as a slow bro, and we had some like really good team moments, and it was stuff like that that really made me want to keep playing. Just having those moments of like yeah with like other teammates and trying to get other people like friends of mine into it because I've got a group of friends who play Pokemon Go, and we have like a group chat. So so I've messaged the group chat and been like, does anybody play Pokemon Unite? Let's start a team. Like, so I'm really into this right now. So we'll see. We'll see how long it lasts because I tend to dip in and out of things, but I am really enjoying it. And, it's just on like it's a great new type of game for me to learn how to play at the moment. So yeah, it's really fun.
Well, I mean, we were talking about random. I call them blueberries in games. Basically, just a random person you meet on online games. I played a lot of Battlefield 4 and 3, and people who weren't part of your team were the name would appear as blue, hence blueberries. So, so basically, I loved it when you would find a person and then you'd sit there and play with them for like an hour or two, and you're like, oh no, don't leave me, bud. And it's nice, yeah. And I think that's actually something that you mentioned where you were talking about you just kind of fade in and out of things. I think a lot of people have gotten into that just because of the COVID lockdown and all that stuff. I don't know what it's been like over in the UK, but here like we just kind of like, oh, this game for a little bit and then fades out, and then you jump to this thing or you jump to that thing, and some people have really found niches, and there's nothing wrong with fading in and out of a game. I think it's dope. You don't want to invest too much time because then you come like a guy that I talked to had like 1,500 hours invested into Dying Light. I think it was. Like, how do you put that much time into a game? Like,
A lot of time.
yeah,
Like, I mean, the only exception I think would be like Animal Crossing, because I know some people, I can understand how people build that up. But I know what you mean. Like, I feel like I go through phases where I want to be like really like hardcore at one game, but like it's not my nature. Do you know what I
yeah.
mean? I like to try a bunch of different things. And but I absolutely respect the hell out of people who can become super pro at
Oh
like,
yeah.
one particular game. Like I think that's really cool.
Well, I mean that's another reason why my Steam library is so backed up. I have so many games that I just haven't played, but you get them on sale for like 2.99 or something. You're like, oh yeah, I'd like to try that, and then you just never do. Um, so we've been talking a lot about Pokemon, and I love Pokemon. I absolutely love it, and I had no idea that Go was still maybe that big with people. Like, is it fairly big over there in the UK where you're at?
Well, I have a very biased opinion, I think, because I am part of a raid group. So it's just a group of us. And weirdly, we met by chance because I used to live in another town, and my other half went out to go, get a specific Pokemon in a raid, and like basically, he ran into this other group of. Are you okay?
Yeah, no.
Oh, sorry.
I have two
Oh,
parrots, hence Parrot Gaming Productions. Um,
oh yes.
and the
Are they all
blue.
right, the
Yeah,
parents?
no, they're fine. They know I'm awake, and they're just mad that I haven't come out and said hi again for the fifth time this morning.
Oh,
But no, Blue is fully flighted. Like he's got all his flight feathers. The dude can buzz. And what he likes to do is he likes to come through my door and come sit up right there on my windowsill and just kind of be like, "Hey, Dad, what's up?" And I heard him fly, and then I heard his little clawsies hit the door, and I was like, "Oh, he's trying to come in." So I opened the door to see if he wanted to come in, and they just started screaming, and I was like, "That's not good." Yeah,
oh
no,
bless. Oh, they
that's
sound so cute.
they are adorable until you realize that a sun conure can hit 100 decibels easy.
Oof.
So I have an alarm. Like not only does my phone go off, but I have Helios at 8 or 9 in the morning. Just Dad, wake up! It's like, all right, bud, for 5 minutes we'll be awake. Sorry, I cut you off
Oh,
there.
bless.
So you said your husband went out to catch a specific Pokemon, and then he met a
Oh
group of
no.
people.
Okay.
So what happened next?
Yes. So he was going for a raid and he ran into this woman and who was with like a couple other people. And of course, if you're sat there with your phone just going like this, you know that the other person is playing Pokemon Go.
Yeah.
So, and she is like one of those people who will talk to anyone. So she went up to him and was like, "Are you playing Pokemon Go? Like, we have a raid group, like you should join." And then he came back and he was like, "You'll never guess what happened." And I was like, "What's up?" And I would have never guessed and that he had met more Pokemon people. So that was like maybe 2.5 years ago, yeah, about 2.5 years ago. And so we still keep in touch. Like obviously we've moved,
Mm-hmm.
and with lockdown and everything like that, we haven't been able to all get together and do raids. But with remote raid passes, it makes it a lot easier because you could just be at home and
Yeah.
just join in on the raid together. So even to this day, like we have a Facebook like group chat going, and they are hardcore. These people, like they are like top of their game, like have it all from everywhere. Like, and the one woman who befriended my other half and myself, she's got friends like all over the world who play. And so she is an absolute, if there's anybody who I give the title of Pokemon Master to, it would be her because she's just a legend at Pokemon Go. And it is good fun. Like we just did the Pokemon Go Fest. It was I think 2 or 3 weeks ago now. So we did that, and that was it. I love the Go Fests. I think they're great fun, and just the excitement of just got to catch all these in this amount of time, and maybe they'll be shiny, and it was just a blast. Like so, the last two, it's been going on. I think this was the second year. This year was that so it was fun, and we all compared our hauls at the end of it. What did you get? What shinies did you get? Do you want to trade for this one? So it's really good fun, and I guess yeah, I know a fair few people who do play still, so it's quite good. Like I really enjoy it. Although again, it's one of those that I do dip in and out sometimes. Like I don't really put my funds into the game
Mm-hmm.
so much, so I run low on everything like raid passes and stuff like that quite frequently. So I'm like, gotta get more of these, but need to go out and set some stops, but don't want to leave the house.
Ah.
But it's when I do get the chance, I know that pesky whole leaving the house thing. But but no, it's been really good. It's been really good, and it's been nice to have, again, like another game where I've been able to connect with people. To play. Like I think to me is something that is really important to me. I think with gaming and stuff like that, just that shared interest and being able to celebrate each other's wins and things like that.
Yeah, I had an ex who loved Pokemon Go with a passion. Like when it first hit, she was like, "We're doing this." I was like, "All right, you got it." She came back from an internship that she was doing, and I had an Android, she had an iPhone, and my phone had a better battery because it was newer. And so her phone we'd literally charge up her phones 100%. We'd go out to the local university here. We'd start playing. Her phone would die. I'd plug it up to a battery pack. She'd steal my phone. She'd start doing whatever she needed to do with my phone until her phone was charged again, and then we'd go back right at it. And I'm talking like this girl would like call me. She's like, "There's this thing. I need you to come pick me up. We gotta go downtown right now." I was like, "All right, all right, sweetheart. Let's go downtown. It's raining outside, and it's 9 o'clock at night. But sure, let's go on this adventure." So, you know,
You got to catch that Pokemon. You got to catch them all. That is the slogan of the game.
yeah.
But yeah, I've definitely done that whole like, oh, can we just nip around the corner to go get this one Pokemon that's there? It'll only take 5 minutes. Or can we take out this gym really quick? It's just in the opposite direction of where I'm supposed to be going, but can we just go? So yeah, when that happens, you got to just go with it.
I,
Spirit
I
of the game.
I do
But
have to
yeah.
ask, how many gyms have you been in charge of at one time? Because that was always the hardest part for us. Like, we'd get one or two gyms, and then we'd immediately hit cash in because we knew as soon as we tried to take over a third, we'd get kicked out of one of them.
Yeah, pretty much the same. Like maybe no more than maybe like two or three max at a
Yeah.
time. Because like in the areas like where I used to live, the gyms would come and go so quickly and between the different teams. So I'm on the yellow team. I forget what the actual name of it is, but I'm on
Electric
the yellow
chicken.
team. So yeah, that's the one. So, we last a little bit and then somebody else come kick us out. So, again, it's one of those, I'm not actually the most competitive person. So I've never really like sat there and been like, guys doing, I just usually throw them in and I'm like, there you go. Like, do your defense thing and I'll see you when you come back and need to be revived. So yeah, so maybe like a couple at a time, like, and you make good coin out of it if they stay longer. So it's just the hopes that, they stay in as long as possible. But yeah,
Yeah, and I realize now why you called yourself a quote a filthy casual. You're just one of you enjoy the aspect of the game. You don't try to go too hard at it, and you just enjoy your time playing the game. And I think that's what all gamers want is just to be able to sit down and enjoy the game in their own way.
that's it really. It's like there's so many different ways that you can enjoy gaming and yeah, for me, I just like to have fun.
Hmm.
I'm not competitive. I don't really keep track of where I am on like any leaderboards or anything because for me it's not about that. For me it's killing like 3 hours on a Saturday afternoon and just having a blast. But that's not to say though that the people who are hardcore competitive like I have so much respect for people who can become like masters of their game, I suppose. It is very inspiring, I think, to see people who can just get into a game and absolutely baste it. And you're just like, oh, like, how did you do that? But yeah, for me, I think, my prime motivation with gaming is just to have a good time and, to be able to talk about it with other people who are, into similar games or try and get people to join me in playing a particular game. So yeah, it's all just fun and as it should be. They are called video games for a
Yeah.
reason. So yeah.
Although you did mention that you play Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, how are you not
Oh yeah,
competitive?
that is
Okay.
serious. That is a different story. That does not count. So I do go hard at Mario Kart. I'm not like amazing. Like if I will get defeated very if I see somebody who's Wario with the sorry, Waluigi with the what is it that the caterpillar
Hmm.
cart thing, I know I'm about to get fucked because I'm like, that is like a great setup, and I know they're gonna come kick my ass. But I do my best like to try and be as stealth as possible. Like, I hold my items till whenever it's the best time. I know how to do the thing where you drift and stuff like that. So I just do my best, like, and but yeah, I'm always that's like the one game where I am screaming at my Switch at times. I'm just like, what are you doing? Like, get out of here. Like, but yeah, so I play as at the moment I'm playing as the Animal Crossing villager.
Ooh.
But I was playing as Daisy for a very long time.
Okay.
She's always been like my go-to. But I've switched to the Animal Crossing villager, and I can't remember the setup with the bike and stuff like that. But it is a bike, and I think I picked like the cloud. I think you can get like the clouds, it's like your floaty thing. I don't know. I don't know the technical terms, but
The
I think it's
cloud
quite
floaty thing
cute. A
is
cute little
perfect.
setup. Yeah. So it's yeah, so I just use that and it does me all right. Like, but and I will if anybody around me is Toad, I will go hard on Toad. I'm sorry. It's just one of those things that has stuck with me since Mario Kart 64 when like just Toad's voice is like just like I can't with his little breathing and stuff like that.
So
It's just yeah.
Toad and Waluigi. What's your disdain and hate for those two guys? Like, why do you hate those two? Yeah, yeah, just throw it. Like, come on, let's hear this. Why the hate?
Right. So Waluigi scares the shit out of me. I know that person is going to try and kick my ass. So it's a fear thing, I think, with Waluigi. Like I know the person behind the Waluigi character is
Mm-hmm.
going to be hard and is going to go at me. Toad, I find it a little annoying. I will say after playing the Toad Adventure, whatever treasure hunter game thing, I did play that. I don't remember what it's called, but I felt quite endeared to Toad
Mm-hmm.
after that a little bit. But something about Toad in Mario Kart 64, just his voice and how he's all like, "I'm the best." I'm just like, "You're not, mate. Like, you're fucking not." Like, because I am, but I'm not. But I try. But yeah, there's something about Toad, that holdover from Mario Kart 64, just absolutely like I can't get past that. And so I will always like, if there's Toad around, he's getting a red shell. Absolutely. And yeah, so those are everybody else is cool though, so we're good.
I love that you're just like, yep, no, I hate you. With you're just, I don't even care. You're just, your hate is completely directed at this one person just because of the character they pick. I love it. I absolutely love it. Um, do you is there a difference between Mario Kart 8 versus Mario Kart 8 Deluxe? Is it like buying the premium edition of something or what have you?
I think it was just released on two different systems. So I think Mario Kart 8 was originally for Wii U. Was
Mm-hmm.
it? Or maybe I think. And then Deluxe was just the one for the Switch.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not really sure. I think that's the differentiation. But I don't really know. I saw you I read that you'd like asked that question and I should have really looked it
Yeah.
up, but
I mean, half of it is just I don't want to do too much research on this stuff because like a lot of the times like you when people tell me about the games that they play or stuff that they do, a lot of the times they just kind of go, what would a normal person ask? You know, because like I don't want to do too much research on this game to really get into it and get in because then I take away points from talking to you and I don't give you a platform to speak. And plus, I love hearing people talk and learning about things, so I was just kind of curious. When it comes to the game, are you a kart person or are you a motorcycle person?
100% motorcycle person. Like, absolutely. I just think they look cooler. Like, like there's no,
Mm-hmm.
like, especially when I was playing Daisy, she gets that like motorcycle suit on and
Yeah.
she's just like cruising away on the motorbike. And I'm just like, fuck yeah, that's badass. Like, so it just looks cool. Like, I mean, I know there are differences in like, and I'm sure I've looked into it at some point of like what the stats are for each thing. But I always was going to go with a bike, but but I must have looked at the stats at some point and been like, that's the one. But I have the worst memory in the world, so I couldn't tell you when that was or why I chose what I chose. So yeah.
No worries. I'm the kind of guy though that will literally build spreadsheets for video games that need it. Like I've I mean I remember when Fallout 4 first came out and I was like there's all this stuff that you gotta take in because your inventory is so huge and da 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 da. And finally, I was just like, "Fuck it, spreadsheet." And so, like, I'd build this little spreadsheet, and I'd pull out my spreadsheet and I'd compare. No, that's trash. I can get rid of that. So yeah, no, like it, I feel you on that. Um, You said you played Animal Crossing.
I did. Oh,
Yeah.
sorry. Go
No,
ahead.
go for it. Go for it. What's up?
Oh, oh, I was actually going to get right into Animal Crossing,
Oh, okay.
about the whole spreadsheet thing because that was the one game that I actually did consider like making notes of stuff when doing my island
Oh.
because I'm a big on like yes. Oh, I am big on my grid systems in life in general. I'm a graphic designer, so
Hmm.
grids are like my thing. And so when I started playing Animal Crossing and everything's in that grid thing, I was like how am I going to make everything like visually fit in this grid in the best way I possibly can? And I remember I would get so frustrated because my airport is like slightly off center, as is my center thing. And I was just like, oh my God, it's messing up my grid. Like, how can I build around this? And I do love Animal Crossing though. Like, despite all of its frustrations, and it's the point where I hit where I actually drew out my island at one point. I do love that game. Like, I don't play it at the moment. Um, but what a great game. Like, it's just been loads of fun. Um, and especially like last year during like the height of lockdown,
Hmm.
I think a lot of people at that time were really into Animal Crossing as, escapism and like just quite a wholesome game to play. So, I did do all the stuff like turnips and everything like that. I am a billionaire, so that's all good. And I did eventually squander a lot of it, but it's all good. Like I was a billionaire.
Did you do the turnip
Um,
markets like where like the people would be like, "Oh, I'm selling high turnips or whatever." Like I got people on Twitter would literally be like, "My turnip prices are X, like it's 50,000 bells to get in." Did you participate in that? Oh, yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Um, there's an app that I used. I can't remember the name of it, but it would set you up in like to go. So basically, people who had high turnips prices would put their information on this app, and you could like queue up to like go into their island. It would be like a price. So they might ask for like NMT, or they might ask for bells or items, and then you go, you pay what they want, and then you sell your turnips. So I am not ashamed to admit that I did that many times, and which is how I built up my capital in the game. And it really like I remember sometimes the it could get quite frustrating because I remember there was a couple of incidents where some people would try to like take advantage of other people's kindness
Yeah.
and like ruin it for everybody else by like not paying or whatever. And then when people do that, it's like, come on, like you're getting like millions of bells from this one visit. Like, but but it was great fun, and like the people who hosted it was great to see their islands and like what they had done. Like even if you're just seeing it in the flyover and you're
Yeah.
just like, whoa, like so that was good fun. That Dream Islands as well was something that I really enjoyed visiting like other people's dream islands. One of my neighbors and I, we both played Animal Crossing together. So we'd visit each other's towns maybe like once a week and just trade items, speak to each other's villagers, see what we're doing. And we would we would go to dream islands together and just see what other people were on their islands or what they've come up with. And some of the stuff that like I've seen are just absolutely stunning islands.
What's a dream
Also
island?
one that
I apologize. I haven't I played a little while ago and then I gave the Switch, so I didn't really make it that far in Animal Crossing. What's a dream island?
Oh, right. So basically, it's eventually you get to a point where you meet this oh, is that how it happened? I think you get this bed
Hmm.
which you can use to sleep. Well, of course, what else would you try to and it gives you an option. It's like what a weird thing for to say. So it gives you this option whether you want to just dream or whether you just want to just chill in the bed or whatever. And then you meet this like anteater thing, and she's like, "Oh, like, do you want to go to a random dream island or do you want to visit one?" And basically, it's visiting like sort of a save state of somebody else's island that you can't like edit, you can't touch. So basically, you're only like visiting it like visually, so you can't mess it
Okay.
up. And so it's basically caught in a particular time where they've saved that, so you can see it. And
Wow.
it's a great way to see other people. Yeah, so it's really cool. Like, so you can see, like, you can build up your own islands and showcase it as a dream island, and people could come visit and see what you're working on, meet your villagers, and it doesn't like mess up your game at all. So, so I've seen like a fair few that were absolutely stunning, like that people have put loads of hours into it, and just built some absolutely amazing islands. And I did try and take some inspiration of different things for my own whilst I was building mine, because you just see some stuff and you're like, that's a really good idea. Like, whether it's like custom flooring or like just the way that they've
Mm.
used the grid system to their advantage, or even creative use items to use. Um, And there were some that were a little questionable. I've definitely seen some basements that have been very telling of what the person is really like. I did see quite a oh, what was it? It was like a weird gruesome science lab thing, like in one of them with like jail bars. And I'm like, oh my God, like what are you doing in your spare time? So I noped out of that island really quick. But yeah, but so honestly, like again, another example of just like, the power of being able to connect with other people
Mm.
and see how they play the game and stuff like that. But that was really fun, was being able to see other people's islands and what they do. But yeah, I am not playing at the minute. I have this weird thing where I stopped playing for a little while, and then I knew that basically if you stop playing for a bit and then you go back, then your villagers will be like, where have you been? It's
Yep.
been like X amount of weeks or X amount of months. And honestly, the guilt of that, especially coming from like my favorite, it's just too much. I can't do it now. And the days tick on, and I'm just like, oh, it's been like 3 months since I've been to my islands, and they're gonna be like, where have you been? It's been 3 months. And my island's gonna be around weeds. Like I can't handle that emotionally, so I haven't played in a while. But yeah, nothing but love for Animal
Well, we could say that the dude with the weird basement doesn't use his bed for just sleeping. Obviously, he's got some darker sides. Um, yeah, I don't like when because I remember I took like a week off, and the villagers was like, "Where have you been the last week?" I was like, "Bro, I was working. Like I was doing real world stuff." And you want to be like I have a real life to live, but you really can't. So I
Yeah,
wanted
they
to.
don't give you that option.
Yeah,
Oh,
they don't.
sorry.
No,
Go
that's
on.
no, it's okay. I just my mind does its own little thing. So the reason why I actually contacted you, and this is actually interesting. You're one of the few people that I've contacted who have actually taken just selfies on the internet and not made the leap. There was another gal I actually literally was I was hoping to have her lined up. She was kind of cool. Her one or two selfies had a very interesting backstory that I was hoping to jump into, but then like 2 or 3 days later, she posted very not safe for work stuff. I was like, oh, it's another OnlyFans thing, and I wanted to talk to somebody who just posted selfies, and so I guess what prompted the just here's my face internet, here you go Reddit, here's me.
Well, selfies have been something that I've done for a long time. Like before, smartphones were a thing and stuff
Yeah.
like that. I started to find interest in, photography. I mean, as I said before, I am a graphic designer,
Mm-hmm.
in my waking life. And, I always, I think at the time I was looking for like another creative outlet, like as more of like I guess more of like a not so rigid, like, creative outlet, I suppose, because
Mm-hmm.
design can be like that. It can be like, these are the rules, these are the box. So anyway, so it started maybe when I was like in my early 20s, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And I got my first like MacBook Pro, and I found that it had the camera feature on it. And I
Yeah.
was like, I've never had a laptop before. So I was like, whoa, like that's cool. And I was always quite into photography, and I knew I wanted to take pictures of people. But at the time, like my like levels of anxiety were quite crippling.
Mm.
And I would never eat. today. Like, I think I'd struggle to ask somebody and be like, "Can I take your picture? Like, you look particularly striking."
Yeah.
Like, and or you know, so I only had myself like to sort of set things up with, like play with lighting and stuff like that. And it's just kind of something that's followed me across like through the years. It's just, taking pictures of, me because I'm readily available to myself
Yeah.
at all times. And I would be concerned if I wasn't. But um so that's how it sort of began. And then I actually, the post that's on Reddit at the moment, the first, what's my first post, which is the Today I Wore, it was not my first post on Reddit. I had posted other selfies before that,
Okay.
and which are now since deleted.
Yeah.
Um, I went through kind of a difficult time actually when I posted my first selfie, just in myself as a person, and I was questioning loads about myself, like my career, my worth as a person, my appearance, and basically it just sort of ended up being like this. I didn't know who to speak to about these things, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to Reddit and I did post my face on Reddit for the first time back then and had to get like positive feedback and stuff like that, which was really nice. And I guess I'm not going to say it's never been about, my appearance because, there is a part of it that is like, it's nice, you post your face and people like it. And it's, there, but I think at this point, I've been, especially since I think you've reached out to me, I think I've really been thinking about the whys behind why I've been doing what I do. And I guess for me, it's just another way of doing portraiture, because
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to things like, going into like, I have thought about, going down the route of like in OnlyFans and stuff like that. But then I thought about the logistics and I'm like, that's not really my shtick. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like I have nothing against people who do it. And, I know people who've been successful at it and that's like fantastic. But it's not for me. And but there's something about like the whole portraiture thing that really intrigues me. I think you can be, you can communicate mood and be very expressive, I think, in the way that you present your face, present yourself. And I think a lot of it, I think the one thing I'm starting to realize now is that although I've been posting like straight selfies like for a while on Reddit,
Mm-hmm.
is that, I'm starting to delve into the more artistic side of things and doing more creative edits, with like, glitch stuff, which so I've been posting to a subreddit called Glitch Art a bit lately.
Yeah, I saw that.
And yeah,
Yeah.
so and that's something that's really sort of got me at the minute. And I'm like, do you know what? Like I'm gonna challenge myself and not just do straight selfies, but how can I make them, more artistic? I'm very into like art in general. So, even to give it like almost like a fine art sort of touch to it or
Mm-hmm.
something like that. Do you know what I mean? So I guess it's really changed, over the years, what I've been looking for in those things. But I don't know. I always found that there is such a beauty to, you know, the faces in general, and being able to pull things out of that through photography, even though it's just like my phone.
Yeah.
Like I think it's fantastic, and I think I would like to get to a point where I'd be comfortable taking pictures of other people and doing the same sort of thing. But I do really struggle with, I guess being able to present myself seriously enough to be like, can I take a picture of your face with my phone and then edit it? Sorry if this is weird. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I haven't got past that. But I think I would like to. But at the same time, I don't know. Like, I've just become very comfortable with my own routine of like, knowing my angles, knowing, how to present myself in particular ways and, how to work with my own face, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, I guess that's all of it really.
And to be honest with you, when you to ask people, can I take your portrait? Don't like when I reached out to the few ladies who had OnlyFans, or were posting the not safe for work stuff on Reddit. Like, imagine the kinds of garbage that they get, and then all of a sudden it's just like, hey, I know this is a really dumb idea, but you want to be on my podcast where we talk about dumb stuff? Like, that just, you know, it's gonna be out of nowhere. Like, actually, yesterday, there's this girl I went to Walmart shopping, and there was this girl that had Team Rib on her shirt. I was like, wonder what that's all about. And I saw the back of her shirt, and it didn't really look like anything, so like I didn't understand it. And we had crossed paths like 3 times. So finally, I was like, hey, what is Team Rib? And she's like, what? I was like, it says Team Rib on your shirt. And then we had a big laugh, and she's like, oh, it's for Chili's because I work. Da, 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 da. I was like, oh, okay. You know, it's just that simple. Just do it. Just go out and just do it. And trust me, once you get used to doing it, it's going to be 1,000 times easier. I mean, it's odd asking people just these random things, like asking you, like I scroll through Selfie a lot because I think it's really cool with what people do, especially with what you were talking about with the glitch art and the styles of people and how they do certain things, and then to reach out to somebody and be like, I want to talk to you about this specific thing that you're doing. It's kind of the same concept, but trust me, if you love photography as much as it sounds like you do, just ask. It's going to be 1,000 times better. You're going to find people that suck at it, because I had a dude who I tried to interview and it just did not work out. But then again, you're going to have people like right now where you're nailing it. Like, I don't have to say much. It's great. It's nice. It's nice just to hear somebody else talk with passion about something. So it's awesome. um,
Well, thank you. And
yeah.
those are wise words. I just want to say, like, I think it's important to hear that and to see, to be able to look at what you do, I guess, in the same sort of way. Like, you straight asked me if I wanted to be on this podcast,
Yeah.
and you just did it. And I'd love to do the same with other people. And I think I just need to get over it and just do it already because I'd love to do it. But yeah, just getting past myself, really. That's always the biggest obstacle for me, is just getting past me, you know.
Yeah, and for the viewers who can't see, who are listening on the actual podcast, she's got a bunch of designs behind her. You were talking about graphic design and how you like just the kind of everything that has to go with photography. Did you make all that stuff behind you?
No, none of these are mine. I just wanted a nice background for but no, these, what are they? This one and this one and this one are not even mine. Those are my other halves. These two are
Mm-hmm.
I purchased. But yeah, I have my house is like full of stuff like this. Like, and I quite like the, simple graphical style. So,
Mm-hmm.
just I don't know how much you can see of like this one, for example, but
Oh,
it's
that's
just
that's
like
nice.
their art.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just picked it up somewhere. I can't remember now, but I've just got loads of this stuff. These things like my little anything that, when I travel, I pick up like, see like a guy who's like drawing something and I love that. So I've got a few of those in my living room. I just love, just I want to feel like my space is like an art gallery almost. Like I've got my white walls and I just want stuff all over all of it so I can just look around and be like, that's, just like inspiration for anything. Like, that's a nice
Yeah.
color, or I like the way they've done this, something like that. Like it's just good to have a full house.
No, I feel you. I'm the same way with flags. I've got like 4 or 5 flags that's what I decorate my house with. Um,
Oh,
yeah,
same.
I've got. Well, obviously this is my bedroom. I moved into here for different. I forget why I moved into here into the bedroom. I think it was just a harebrained idea where I was like, I'm gonna rearrange my entire apartment again. But like I don't really keep much in here, but out there, like I had a background of the blue flag. I had my Air Force flag. I have this really cool Benjamin Franklin "Don't Tread on Me" flag, and then I have a poster of oh god, it was some movie with Russell Crowe and that he's that really cute dude. Like I forget his name. I forget. I can't even begin to admit. Yeah, I know there's a lot of just cute like
Cute dudes, but which one where it was in the film with Russell Crowe is what I'm trying to say.
yeah, oh god, like Russell Crowe was this old school beat up detective, and then he was like a new to the private eye. I think he was in I think he was in Driver as well too.
Ryan Gosling, maybe.
Yeah,
No.
Ryan Gosling. Yeah,
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah,
right. Okay.
yeah. No, yeah, no, I will 100% admit that man is cute. I love that man. He's great.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, he's got that that specific trait. And speaking of specific traits, you have this very unique hairstyle that I've kind of I've seen the hair the colors pop up more often than not, where it's a nice fade, and you do your fade is brilliant. It's like black to this really nice dark blue. Where did that come from?
So the fade part came because of lockdown. This is my roots having grown out for so long. But people kept telling me it looked all right. So I was like, because people would be like, "Oh, I like your hair," and I'd be like, "Oh, well, it's just grown out because of lockdown. I need to redo it." And they're like, "No, it looks great." And I'm like, "Really?" So I've just left it. But I do change the color quite frequently. I have had blue hair on and off since I was like 23. So that's 12 years on and off. So like back in the day, I did get comparisons to like Katy Perry when she
Yeah.
went through her blue hair thing. So it was around that time that I had blue hair for the first time. And I have experimented with greens, like teal and purple, like a couple of times. But generally, I always come back to like sort of a blue or like a teal. To
Mm-hmm.
be honest, um, I feel like those since my hair is like quite cool toned anyway, like my natural color. I figured that like the greens, blues, and purples would be the best suited to my complexion. So I have had red hair before. I will never have red hair again. But it's always just been like, I don't know, like I've always resonated with having blue hair and I always gravitate towards it. Even when I had natural hair for a while, there would always be a little voice in me that's like, why don't you just go blue? And then one day I was like, yeah, fuck it, like I'll do it again. So I've just had it ever since. So right now we're kind of rocking like a dark blue,
Mm-hmm.
but I know this will probably fade out in about 4 weeks or so, and it'll be back to more of a teal color. So at that time, I'll probably decide whether to keep the teal or go to a different color. But yeah, but I've been loving the blue hair boom, I suppose,
Yeah.
recently. Like it's a great color for a lot of people, and it's really nice to see other people with with funky colored hair in general. I did see this one woman in particular, um, and she wasn't blue haired, but she had like a nice light pink with purples mixed into it. I follow the curly hair sub on Reddit, and because I do have naturally curly hair, I have a love-hate relationship with it, so it's straight now. But God, her hair was gorgeous, and it's so nice to see people with just like these vibrant colored hair going on at the minute, and just that it's becoming more again like it's more of an acceptable thing nowadays. Like I've had no problems with having it now, whereas 10 years ago, I think I had to dye my hair back to a natural color
Yeah.
for job hunting and stuff. So it's great to see this color like up and at 'em like nowadays.
Well, I've noticed that like when lockdown hit, like almost everybody went through a phase where it was just like, let's do something drastic. A lot of people just all of a sudden, just everybody on my my Facebook feed, or just a lot of people that I would see on the internet, just all of a sudden had different colored hair. But I have to ask, why do you hate red? Because like fire truck red, like a brilliant fire truck red, is like that. Oh, that's my oh, I love that. Like, girl, you got it going on. Like that. That'll make me smile any day. So why do you hate it so much?
Just doesn't suit my complexion.
Oh,
Like it just it I've tried it and it just it just made my skin look a bit, I don't know, off. There was something, it just wasn't me.
okay.
Like if it was on any, like I have looked at other people with that like bright red, fire truck red hair,
Yeah.
and just again, like you, just been like, damn, that's such a nice color. Like your hair looks amazing, but it's just not for me.
Hmm.
But I wish I could do it because it looks great on people who can pull it off.
So when you've posted, because I've seen you post a few selfies, and you've posted a few more since I came across the first one that grabbed my attention. How do you go about the post? Is it that your significant other's like, you got it going on with that one, and then you're like, yeah, I'll post that, or is it just kind of like the I feel cute as fuck right now, let's rock this?
It depends on the day, really. Like, I do share like my selfies with my other half, and
Mm-hmm.
he's like super supportive of, the whole, me discovering who like Adrienne Grody is, like, because I guess that goes hand in hand with like the portrait selfies thing. And so it's been. he's super supportive. I always show him my stuff and I'm like, do you think this is good enough? Do you think this is good enough? And he's like, he's a creative himself. So, he always has good
Yeah.
input for me. But I'm quite impulsive when I post, to be honest with you. Like sometimes, like I'll just like, okay, so today, for example, I have taken some selfies like earlier today because I did my makeup.
Yeah.
So it's like, all right, let's get some selfies in. So I have a couple. I've not posted anything yet because I've not sat down and edited them yet. I don't know what I'm doing with them yet. So, they're in my phone, they stay for now.
Yeah.
But sometimes I'll just get like, usually if I'm going out someplace and I've done my makeup and I'm, dressed up and I feel good, then I want to document it and be like, right, this is a good time to take a selfie. And then, sometimes I'll sit on it, but usually it's just like, got a good selfie, edit, post it, done. And sometimes I do have like moments where I'm like, I don't know if I wanted to post that, so I will delete them sometimes because I look at them and I'm like, it's not my best selfie, I
Yeah.
suppose. So sometimes I'll delete stuff, but sometimes I just leave them up and I'm just like, you know what, that's a nice one. Like I'll keep that. So I do edit quite a bit, I suppose. I've recently got on Instagram now, because I didn't have Instagram
Ooh.
like a public Instagram for a while. And that's more of my artistic, just my glitchy selfies
Oh,
and shit
okay.
like that. But but yeah, so so not so much like straight selfies. But yeah, I'm just, it's okay. I'm not really taking it super serious. Oh, like gotta like all these things and
Oh, all right.
it's
Yeah.
I guess it's just as I go really. Yeah. But it's been good fun. I do get some nice encouraging comments and stuff like that. And my DMs are, kind of 50-50. Like sometimes they're really lovely and I like speaking to people. Sometimes they're a trash fire,
I
but it's
was
okay.
literally about to ask you about that. Because I actually got banned from ours. I can't comment on our selfie anymore because I got banned. I got banned because I had made a comment about a specific type of selfie a girl had posted up, and I'm not gonna justify myself. I shouldn't have dropped tape. I really shouldn't have. But you see those comments where you're just like, dude, here's the gallon of water. Quit being fucking thirsty. Like, knock it off, man. And it just,
Yeah.
I wonder, like, does that even help the validation? Like, where you're like, yeah, that was a cute fucking selfie. But then you get this dude who's like creeping and he comes in, and he's just like thirsty as ever. Does that help or does that like what? Yeah. I don't know how to phrase the question because I'm a guy.
It creeps me out, to be honest.
Okay, it creeps you out.
No, it's okay. I know exactly what you mean, but it is definitely creepy. I feel that my selfies are not meant to be sexual content.
Hmm.
And I get it. You see somebody who's attractive and that's fine. We all have tastes or whatever, but
Yeah.
I think some of the comments I got or through DMs have been really like I don't know. I don't necessarily want to out anybody for what they have said, but but some people have really brought up things that I did not even know were on people's minds. I guess not just about me, but just in general. Do you know what I mean? Like and or terminology I've never heard
Yeah.
before. Like and it's I guess that was never that's the thing that has caused me to sometimes delete some things
Okay.
sometimes, because
Yeah.
I feel a guilt about it, especially because I do have a partner and those sorts of messages really make me uncomfortable because I
Hmm.
feel I it feels wrong to me, I guess.
Yeah.
And it's never been the reason why I post selfies. Um, I am all about, I think there are two selfie subreddits, and I've stopped posting so much on one of them because I tend to get more DMs on that one. And I stick to the one that's selfies with an S,
Yeah.
rather than selfie with no S. Because I tend to think that one tends to be more supportive. And plus you see both men and women posting selfies on that particular subreddit. Although I mean, I see some dudes posting on there, but not like a ton. But it just seems a bit more like supportive, I would say. But yeah, um, but yeah, so it's like 50-50, I guess. I try not to let the DMs bother me too much though, but sometimes they really do get to me, and I'm just like,
There is
why
a
why did I post?
a third a third kind of like selfie-ish kind of thing called free comments or free compliments or free compliments or whatever.
Oh, right,
It's
okay.
a lot of the same thing. Like there's this girl, should I dye my hair this color? Usually very dark brown. And then there's this dude in a suit. He's like, I had a job interview. It's like, yeah, dude, you look fly as shit right now. Like, yeah, you probably knocked that out of the park. And that one I've noticed where it doesn't get too creepy, and there's a nice mix of guys and girls in there too. So I don't know if that's maybe somewhere else you want to jump. But then again, I always sort by new because if I don't sort by
Yeah.
new, then you get like those, here's the 600 upvote one, and it's just like it's pandering at this time, you know. So
No, I know what you mean. Like I like to show my appreciation to, everybody like that I can. Cause like it always like I do sort by new, like in
mhm.
most pretty much all subs that that I'm subscribed to, whatever. But it's just nice to lift people up who might not be getting that traction for, whatever reason. And just to be able to be supportive. Like I don't always comment on things. Um, but this free compliments one sounds really, is that what it's called? Free
Yeah,
compliments.
free compliments.
Because that sounds so lovely. I'd love to take part in something like that because, see such a nice comment, you know, that is not about, something sexual or something like that, but like,
Mhm.
oh, your hair is amazing, or that's a great shirt, or something like that. That sort of thing can make somebody's day, like, especially if they, do struggle with, maybe like negative self-image, or even the opposite, even if they're feeling fucking awesome.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? You might as well add to the party there.
hell yeah.
But I'm definitely going to check that out, like, because that sounds so positive. And I think that's sort of the experience I'm after. I think it's just that positive environment to be able to post things like that.
Then I would be surprised if you didn't know about the Toast Me subreddit. You never heard of that?
Oh, is that that's the opposite of roast me, isn't
Yep,
it?
Toast Me.
Like,
Like, yeah.
okay, I've never visited Toast Me,
Oh,
I've never visited roast me either, but I know what it is.
yeah.
But
Toast Me is just a skyrocket of like compliments and just really nice things. Like even some of the ones where you're like, that's a guy post, like that's a dude answering. Like it's very not sexualized. It is very much like a like people be like, oh, I'm 30 days sober, and people are like, I've been sober for 10 years. You're on the right path. Keep rocking it. And you're just like overwhelming positivity. It's insane. So so yeah. Discord.
I'm definitely
There
going
we go.
to. Oh, are we good? Sorry,
Yeah,
we
we're
did
good.
break up a bit.
We're good.
We're good. Okay. But that's so lovely. Like I've never ventured into toast meat before, but I think I'm going to because that sounds so nice. Like there's so many reasons I think to lift people up. Not even just for like appearance related things, but like you said, the example that you gave with, I'm 30 days sober and stuff like that. Like having a bunch of people like behind you who are just like, fuck yeah, keep going. Like that sounds awesome, and that really does sound like something, I would like to be a part of, like for sure.
Mm,
Just to be able to, help lift people up. And, you know, that's great. I love that.
yeah.
Well, consider me subscribed. As soon as we're off this, I'm going to join and start complimenting away.
Fantastic. So, this is kind of the next step here, where you obviously posted some selfies. So I have if I can do math here real quick, I have 10 selfies that I wanted to kind of go over with you and maybe get your thoughts on if that's okay. These are selfies that range in pretty awesome to, I feel like women know exactly what they're getting out of this. And I was kind of curious because I did have a discussion on the last or two episodes ago about what a selfie is. Now I know what the definition of our selfie is. It's just a picture you've taken of yourself. What do you feel is the definition of a selfie? Like, what is a selfie to you?
Um, I think. It's literally that. It's a picture taken of yourself. I think the way you interpret that can be, whether it's, using a self timer,
Mm-hmm.
whether you do use filters or edits. Like I feel like that all falls into the genre of selfie. I think for me a selfie would be if you sort of created it, like you shot the image yourself, you staged it yourself, and, basically you didn't have like a photographer like there. But in terms of like, lighting or, whether you put a self timer on, filters, I think anything goes in that regard. But it has to be you behind the camera,
Okay.
like, or, in front of it, but have set it up so that you know what I mean. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I got a couple here that I fully 100% believe are true selfies, and then there are some where it's like, okay, I know you're pandering a little bit right now. And in 2 episodes ago, one of the girls did say, she did come out and she just straight up was like, yeah, no, they know exactly what they are doing in this photo. And I've always kind of wondered, is that when a woman posts something that's I don't want to call it very suggestive, but something that's like, okay, this is a little above and beyond what is maybe normal for us, our selfie post. What do you think the psychology behind that is, where it's they go that little bit of extra to go, well, here's a selfie that I have, let's just make it a little extra. Do you think they're just trying to gain extra validation, or what might be the main, like, want to do something like that?
It could be twofold, or, it could be two separate reasons, I think. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I think certainly there is a sense of, wanting, validation, whether it's because, of, experiencing low self-worth or, perhaps not enough input from people who, like a support network or something like that,
Mm-hmm.
just some way to feel, um, I guess worthy of something, whether it's, like, attention, whether it's just male attention or just regular attention, or, things, or just wanting to feel like, good enough for the world. Like,
Yeah.
but that there's certainly, I imagine, people in that sort of uh category. But then as well, I feel like there's a category of women who certainly, feel empowered by this
Oh
sort of
yeah.
thing, and, like the way they look, they probably look hot as shit, like they look great, they know they look great,
Mm-hmm.
and they're showing it off. And, I guess I can understand both sides of things, because I feel like I've been very much been on, both sides of the spectrum myself.
Mm-hmm.
I've been in places where, I felt that, it's sort of a pressure to look a certain way, and to feel validated by external, you know, whether it's, by men or by, everybody. Like I felt that way. And then there have been times where I felt like, I look shit hot. Like, I'm posting myself on the internet because
Mm-hmm.
fuck yeah. Um, so I think that there's probably, I think it's probably quite a gray area for a lot of people. And,
Okay.
there are probably many factors that go into it. But yeah. Um, but I am ready to see these selfies. I'm
All
very
right.
excited to see what you've chosen to look at.
All right. Let's see if I can do this here. So let's share my screen. No, let's not do that yet. All right. So I'm gonna pull up the first one here, and I don't know if I can do this. Oh, I love having two screens, but I also hate having two screens because technically I have a giant TV that is sitting right there. Viewers can't, the listeners can't see, but there's a giant 65-inch TV sitting right behind that wall, and that's actually where you're at right now. And I'm using this weird little setup, so I technically can't see half of anything. Oh, come on, are we serious? Gotta find my mouse. Oh, this is a nightmare. This is great. All right, now let's
No,
come
take
on.
your time, no worries.
All right, so let's go live. All right, so this is the first selfie that we got here.
Okay. Oh, look at her hair. She looks so cute.
Yeah.
Oh, I like this. I like this selfie a lot. I really do. Well, first of all, I think her hair is magical. And she looks great. I love like the fishnets. I think they look fantastic. I
Mm-hmm.
can't really see her dress, but that's okay.
Yeah.
And I really like the choice of lipstick that she's chosen as well. Like she's done a really like natural like makeup look. And and the lighting seems to be pretty good as well. Like it looks like she might be like near a window or something like that. So you can really see like, the subject, which is herself and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I can see her, w- I think it's her Mac, like, so like her whole like computer setup in the background.
Yeah.
So I think with selfies and stuff like that, I try and be quite s- critical, I think, about what's in the background. Do you know what I mean? If the subject is you and you're presenting like yourself as like a fantasy, in a sense, like you want to keep that going, I suppose, like from, just from yourself as the foreground to the background. And I think that bit of the picture distracts just a little bit with that, like, green couch or whatever it is. But I think she looks great. Her expression is on point. Also, I love her eyeliner, her hair, the fishnet. A plus, love it. Fantastic.
All right. Well, you were distracted by something else, and I'm distracted by the little sparkle notes. No, come on, give me a benefit of the doubt here. The sparkles that she's got. It looks like she's got a filter that's on, and you can like I don't know. Is
Oh
that
yeah.
is that maybe an After Effects or something like that? Like okay, yes, I love the
Um,
red hair, but the sparkles. I'm like it like I don't get that. Like why add that in? Like I don't. It's weird
I
to
get
me.
what you mean. I didn't actually notice them at first, Like I
Yeah.
didn't think that they were I thought it might have been like a glare or something like that, or the one at the bottom left, I thought that might have been like a slit in the fabric or something like that. I didn't notice the one on the right hand side, and I didn't really notice the ones on the top. I was more distracted by like the dust, I think, below.
Yeah.
I think with elements like that, you either have to go hard or go home. Do you know what I mean? If you
Yeah.
want like sparkles or effects of a filter, go filtered. Like, and if you want to present like a more like natural, this is me selfie, I don't necessarily think that the sparkles are necessary because, I think my attention never went to them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They went straight to her. You don't need those things to, I suppose, to add to the picture.
Yeah.
You've got the subject right there. It's clear, it's fantastic. Like, you don't need the sparkles. She
You're
looks
adding
great
you're
though.
adding flair to
Um,
something that doesn't need to be flared.
exactly,
Yeah.
yes. Like, and as somebody who loves a good filter, because I filter the hell out of my pictures, like, sometimes you can take one thing away. There's a thing
Hmm.
that they say in fashion, apparently, where it's like if you get dressed and you go out the door, take one thing off before you go. So, like, if you've got like earrings and a necklace and a ring, and take one thing off because, always self-edit a bit. But yeah,
I mean, that's a fair actual saying. I mean, if that saying was true for me, I'd like throw on something dumb and be like, "Oh, I got a hat. Oh, that's right. Fashion says take one thing off. I didn't like the hat anyways." It almost sounds like you can kind of cheat with that.
yeah, it's true. Like you could just be like, oh, I'll just load loads of stuff on. Like, and then I'll just take this off. Done. Good to go.
Yeah. So here's
Oh,
yes.
oh,
For those of you who
oh,
cannot
she's
see this,
cute.
she is just freckled up. Like it is all over, and she's in what I want to say is maybe a Jeep or the back seat of some kind of vehicle, but it is just like this is just glowing. Like this is pure lit
Yeah,
up. She's
she
she's
is. She is a stunner. Like I love how she's rocking the freckles. Like especially lately. Like I think there's been a huge push towards showing yourself more naturally.
mm-hmm.
Whereas like back in the day, like freckles were not something that that I think a lot of people tried to hide and stuff like that. But she looks fantastic, and I'm so glad that she just looks so like positive. She looks very self-confident, and I love her top. That looks great. I love the pattern on it. It looks fantastic. And the good thing about car selfies, I think, is that it allows for really good lighting on
Oh
the
yeah.
image. And also her eyes are just, oh, they're just gorgeous color. Like she's really nailed her eye makeup as well. Um, and I am envious of the waves of her hair. She's got them so right. I think again, it's one of those where the background is something that can be quite distracting. So this like red thing of the car seat, I think, is something maybe I would have changed the angle to be more so it would like frame her in this way instead
Mm-hmm.
of being like just on one side, if that makes sense.
No, that
Um,
yeah.
but but honestly, like her, the way that you can see the confidence in this woman's face. and I love to see it. I am here for it, and fantastic. Love it. A plus.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give everybody an A plus probably.
Well, I mean, I chose a lot of times what'll happen for these interviews is I'll literally just go to our selfie, hit I hit start by new, and I just start scrolling through, and then these are a lot of the ones that are probably not only going to blow up, but a lot of people have seen most likely, and so that's why I choose them, because it's just like they're striking for a reason. Her confidence that she exudes, as well as the freckles. So
Love it.
our
I love
next
it.
our
It's great.
next bud here is got his
Oh, we've got a
workout
guy.
on.
All right.
Yeah, he's
Yes. He,
drenched.
he has done one hell of a workout, and I have the utmost of respect for that. Like, I used to be a big gym buff, but because of COVID, I've been like a bit about it. But anyway,
Yeah.
but he is working out. The only thing I think is, I think again, I feel like I'm just gonna be like, the background's just too distracted like this whole time. But I want to see more. Like, I'm not. I think because it is a phone camera, and because of the distance that he has from the mirror, I can't really see like his full, face or facial expression.
Hmm.
And even the things that, I can see that he's trying to show off that, that he's done a great workout and he's confident, and I can see he's got some, like, muscle build going on there. And I
Oh
would
yeah.
love to see him a bit closer to the camera, or to the mirror, I suppose, so that you could see the things that, he's obviously worked so hard for and that he's so proud of.
Yeah.
Um, as well. And yeah, and of course, like, I think that's really what it is I wish he would just get closer to the camera, so we could see, his lovely face, so we could see like his muscles, and, maybe looking instead of at the camera itself. There's a thing that you could, when you're holding a camera to do like, sorry, a phone to do like a mirror selfie, if you look at the mirror instead of at the phone,
Yeah.
then you can make eye contact with the viewer. And I think that can be quite powerful. But yeah, but I respect the workout. I would like to know what his routine is, because I would like my arms to look like that. So yes, keep it up, come closer to the mirror, and we are good.
I've never understood the looking at your phone selfie. They have a timer, a 3 second timer that you just click, and then you're like, all right, that looks good. Click it, countdown, and then you can just look up. I've never understood why people do the looking at my phone selfie. It's always been weird to me.
What you mean? Like, I feel like if you have the option to not like, because you have the version where,
Hmm.
I get it though, because he's trying to show like his body,
Yeah.
as opposed to. But I think there are more artful ways that you can go about holding your phone and shooting yourself in the mirror, so that, like, I tend to hold my phone when I'm doing a mirror selfie, which I don't usually post, but it's usually just if I'm showing somebody my outfit or something like that. I'll
Hmm.
usually hold it down here, so that it's not in the way of my face, and so it's not so much in the way of anything else. So I usually hold it, yeah, about there, and just angle it a bit, to get my head in a bit better and stuff like that. So yeah, I think that could use some work for sure. But yeah, give me your gym tips, bruh. Like, oh yes, we've got
Yeah.
a little goth like thing going on. Yes,
Yeah.
I love this. Look at those lashes. Oh, fantastic. I
Yeah.
love them.
I
I
featured
love
her in
this
the
look.
last one. I have to
Oh,
get. Yeah. It's amazing. Just the dark with the bright red with, yeah, and I mean, even if like you look at her tattoos, like full of color, and just
yeah.
the
Oh,
I think it would you would call it the contrasting nature of the darks and the lights. It's just brilliant.
yes. She's definitely done a really good job with building up the contrast here. Like, because you can see like those darks are really dark, and, compared to, like, all the highlights in the picture are fantastic. I love her piercing. I love her lipstick. Those lashes are to die for, and I love that her eyes are like that piercing blue, like, to sort of contrast the whole thing. I would love to see more of her tattoos, and
Hmm.
because I can just see that little floral element there. And I think it's a bit washed out actually, but I think that seeing that like pop of aqua, like on her arm, would complement so nicely with the red of her hair and the
Yeah.
deep blacks, on her clothes and on her makeup as well. And she got double nose piercings as well. Those are so cute. I love
I
that.
didn't even
I'd
notice
love to
that.
do that.
Didn't even notice that.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love them. Like, I think that's such a great look. Like, I would love to have a drink with this woman. Like, absolutely. Um, but yeah, she looks great. I think the only thing I would suggest, and this is quite nitpicky, I suppose,
Mm-hmm.
is that it looks like the way that the filter that she's used um puts a lot of blue tones in the it puts a lot of blue tones in the shadows.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that gives it almost I think there was something about maybe a few years ago when like Instagram was like up and coming,
Oh
that there
yeah.
was that element in like in filters and stuff like that. And so I think I would like to see a more like natural toned edit, so maybe less of like a the blue tones in the shadows,
Yeah.
just to give it a more natural like look. But that said, like I think that's just such a nitpicky like little thing to say. Like in terms of like her look and everything, I think she looks fantastic.
Well, I think that's why her tattoo looks washed out is because of the filter. Like, there's
Yeah. Oh, I
there's
want to know what that is.
there's no because like I've got a couple myself, and there's if there's one part that's colored nicely, it's all colored nicely. The tattoo artist doesn't just suck with a color. I think you're right. There's that blue filter that's on there, which makes the blue flower really pop, and then makes the yellows and reds and pinks just not pop as much. So
Yeah, that's exactly it. I think there are other, I'm not sure what apps she's using to edit, but I use a few different ones, but I would say just play with some more filters and see what results you can achieve to really, because 'cause she looks amazing and I
yeah,
want to see more of that.
I had her handle, um, but I've noticed that a lot of people that post selfies like this that are just like the once in a lifetime just smash hits. Like they rarely post anything. Like it's once in a blue moon. Like it's just boop. Here's my one selfie that I posted like 3 4 days ago, and the rest of their stuff is like cats or plants or whatever else they're like super into, and it's just like what you can't like. That's it. It's just the one, and a lot of times it is just the one.
Oh, that's a sad time. Like
Yeah.
I want more. Oh, can you bear with me 1 second? Sorry, I just need to plug in
Yeah.
my
Go for it.
laptop's giving me a battery. Sorry, bear with me, please.
You're right.
Okay, let's see. Oh, what's this guy?
Ah,
Oh, I like his look. I love his hat.
I called
What's
him
his? Oh,
Hawaii.
is this his his little Hawaii hat? I love it.
Yeah.
Um, let's see. So, oh, this is just what's it? A verification
Yeah, it was a
post, is it?
verification post, but
Um,
like I thought it was dope. Like the dude's like he's got it going on. He's got the nice
hell
beard,
yeah.
the cool reflective sunglasses. I like that his phone's all busted too. Like he's like, yeah, I know.
I'd have a beer with that guy. I'd definitely have a beer with that guy because I bet he'd be hella fun. Like, he definitely looks like, he's like a cool ass dude that you just want to kick it with. Like,
Mm,
does he have an earring or maybe not? I don't know. I
no.
thought he had an earring in his, oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I really like a character earring in like a guy, like when they've got like the proper big, like cubic zirconia or something like that in the ear.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. But I love his look. I would party with this guy. The only thing is that as much as I like the cracked phone aesthetic, like I want to see more guy. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I feel like I've got hand, phone, and verification. And I know this is just a verification
Yeah.
post, but I want to see more. Like this guy seems so fun, and I want to see like what it is that I want to see more. I want to know this guy. I want to know more about him, and I want to see more of that.
Yeah. Get out of the
But yeah,
bathroom or
but yeah,
wherever he's at.
yeah, he does look like he's in like a hotel like bathroom or something like that. Like, what do you do? Get on the beach, like get a good setting going and get proper like into your selfie. Like, you got this. But yeah, definitely would hang with this guy.
This next one I think you're really gonna like.
Oh, look at her hair. It's so magical.
I
Oh
know.
my God. Her and the first woman have like the most magical hair.
Yeah.
Um, her
This is
hair is
straight up
so
amazing.
magical, and I love this. I
It
love this. I feel like, oh, go on. Sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna like because she's got the pink that turns into the purple that turns into the blue that turns into a teal, and it's just wave, and it just like I shave my head, right? Like, so I have no frame of reference how long it takes to dye in layers of this. Like, that just seems
Oh,
like
for
it's an
ages.
unnecessarily long process.
Well, just seeing by like the like her color is so rich and so even, like so she's done a fantastic job. But
Yeah.
I really like that she's sort of stepped out of the box in terms of like, here is a selfie and
Mm.
really gone for this, she's not looking at the camera. So she's doing sort of a candid thing going on here. And I really love it. Like, and I think her face has such a calm expression on it, and it feels like she's almost like other in like another world in a way. And I really love that. Like it's really, I think the pose is very artistic. Her hair is gorgeous, and I love the detail of her hair here being like pink to match the shirt as well.
Yeah.
um I think the only thing is that I feel that, as weird as it sounds, I feel like this is the kind of selfie that you could definitely play around with filters
Oh
to
yeah.
give it like this sort of otherworldly quality to it. Because I think there's this one thing in the middle here, this stick like looking thing, just
Hmm.
under her, um what size is left, under her left shoulder. And that little thing is a bit distracting for me,
Yeah.
because it breaks the flow of like her body being like this. Um, and I'd love to edit this myself, really. And just, I'd love to do an edit of this because I think it would just have such a lovely quality, like with edits. Like, I need to know who she is. I want to edit her pictures. Maybe she can be the first person that I'll ask about doing portraits with. I'll be like, "Can I edit your portraits, please?"
Well,
But yeah, she's am amazing.
well, maybe I might know her now that I like actually like because like I just found her like last night. I was in the middle of break at work, and I was just like I need to find some selfies for this, and I like she has a very striking facial resemblance to my ex, and I was like I didn't realize it at the time, and I'm like yeah that's a really and I realized it like halfway through you talking about it. I was like that could very well be my ex. Like with like she looks almost deadpan for it. So maybe I might know her, and I can put you in contact. But oh yeah, this next one
Well, she
here,
looks lovely.
this next one though,
Oh,
yes,
her hair is magical also. Why is everybody that you're showing me has the most magical hair? Honestly, like I'm so jealous. Like the curls on her are just so lovely, and she's got just this angelic quality to her. I think she's really considered the background as well because it's got that soft pink,
mm-hmm.
that goes with her aesthetic. Um, and I do like her makeup. It seems very like minimalistic and angelic, which is beautiful.
Yeah,
I wish it wasn't so washed out though, because the
I
picture
know.
is very grainy.
Yeah, that's
And
the
I'm just
biggest
like,
complaint.
"Hmm, nah, no, like I wish that she had maybe just like even something like a lamp or something like that, because
Mm-hmm.
I don't have like lighting like that, a setup, but I know where my light sources are around the house, and I just sort of position myself around them in such a way that you get like good contrast. And I think she would really benefit from having like, being conscious of her light source, um, so that you don't get rid of that grainy quality that's in the picture. But oh my
Yeah.
God, what an absolute cherub. She looks amazing. And I love the split tone hair. Like, and another winner for me. Like, another winner for me.
Oh yeah, and the reason why I'm showing you all these amazing ones is just simply because, like I said, I find ones that really just pop. You know, like the multicolored hair. The she literally has split. She's half pink, half blonde. You know, and then like anybody else. Now this next photo is kind of a photo that I may have gotten in trouble commenting on. Uh, so
Hey,
she's basically this is what I this is not a selfie to me.
see, I would disagree because it seems like to me that she's either done a self timer or either in her right hand she's holding a clicker.
Hmm.
Like, and I would say that that still counts as a selfie. Um, but like I love her look. Like I love this like pinup girl like aesthetic.
Hmm.
I would classify it as a selfie because I really do think she might be holding a little clicker in her hand, but I
Well,
can't really see.
I'm not
She's
denying.
disguising it well.
I'm not
Um,
denying a clicker or maybe a timer. It's and I know this is going to come off probably horrible with the way I'm saying it, but it's what she's wearing. That's it feels like because what you were talking about earlier with the selfies and everything else along those lines is that when you post a selfie, you get two types of you get a compliment or you get a derogatory DM or something along those lines, and this almost feels like it's a belongs in the subreddit Gone Mild. Gone Mild is a lot of women who pose very suggestively, wearing very kind of lingerie-esque things, and they're not showing off, they're not explicitly crossing that line, but they're kind
okay.
of hitting that line. And it was kind of explained to me because I had asked previously too. I was like, what's the difference between a bikini shot like or a shot like this? And it's all about consent from what I had heard. And I feel almost like this is 100% a selfie. It's of her. It's mainly focused on the face, but I just feel like it's almost too much sexualization in a subreddit that's meant for what I think of a selfie from like chest up. So maybe that's
What you
just
mean?
yeah.
But I guess at the same time, though, like I think that if you look at like her expression and even what she's chosen to pair like the top with and stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
I think I think she's feeling quite a confidence in what she's
Oh yeah.
wearing. And although I will say that she's got quite a bit of blur going on, and I don't think she needs it. I don't know if she's done it like as a way of editing or if it's just coming out that way, but I don't think she needs it. Like, I would like to see, I think, if anything of this image, like, I think I'd like to see it more real. Because I think right
Mm-hmm.
now it feels very pin-up-y
Yeah.
and like it's, and I want to see her. Do you know what I mean? Like, I
Yeah.
want to see, just, the texture of skin and her arm and like, the texture of her face. It seems quite very perfect, especially in her face. Like her face,
Yeah.
she's done a fantastic job editing it. But then yeah, but I really like her look though. And I have to say I'm going crazy about this top. I need to know where she got it because I want that. Like it's so cute. I love the lace. And I think though that this classified selfie, although I understand what you mean, that
Yeah.
typical selfies are like, you know, that and it's your face, it's your shoulders, and that's it. But that's it. Maybe selfies is not the best place to post it, but that's it. I still think it's a
Yeah.
wonderful image. And girl, tell me where you got that top. Please tell me where you got that top. I need it.
I think the blur effect that you see on the outside is just because there's creeps out there who could find, like the magazines that she or not the magazine the newspapers. Wow, that's an old phrase. The newspapers that she's using. Like somebody could look at that and find that and find her. Like some people are creepy as shit like
You
that.
think?
Yeah.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like that. Like, in that case, I completely understand. But
Yeah.
at the same time, like, I mean, I would like to see this image, in like, I guess, an even focus because, like I said,
Mm-hmm.
like her face is very in focus, but then you've got blurs going on here, and I'd love to see the whole thing, like, as a real image, if that
Yeah.
makes sense, with balance between the blur and the very what's the word? Like in a very sharp,
Mm.
face,
Yeah.
something in between that. But also, I need to say this because it's going to be a very predictable comment for me. I love her hair. Like her haircut is so nice. Like that little, like the way her fringe is and the color, it's beautiful. I love her hair. I
Yeah.
just have hair envy galore today.
And for the final one here, uh, we got a guy working out, so
Aw,
we got to have a girl pre-workout session. So I mean,
she's so cute. I love the addition of the glasses. Like, I
yeah.
think that's such a nice touch. Yeah, she looks great. She looks fresh faced, and I love her look. It feels so. I love her bedding. Like,
Mm.
I think this is one example where I like the backgrounds
Yeah.
because her bedding is just so cute. But I really like it. She seems full of energy, and like, I think she feels like herself. Do you know what I mean? Like she
Yeah.
looks like uh like a full person, if that makes sense. Like, and
Yeah,
I
it
love
makes
that.
full.
Like you can
Yeah.
like, I know that that's such a weird way of saying it, but I mean, like, she's exuding like, a confidence. She's thrilled because she's going to the gym. She looks great. She's got like a gym bod, and I'm hella jealous. Who is your PT? I need to know. And like, and I love that you can see like, I think I would frame this one a bit differently, but I would love to see the background in this case. So rather than like in the first one where, we talked about maybe creating getting rid of some of the background details to create to enhance like this illusion of, I would say here to really play into the background because you've got something so quirky here with, her posters and her bedding. And I think you could really work with those details to
Yeah.
help bring her selfie, to like the next level. But she looks so cute. Like, and I want her glasses. Like, I want her personal trainer's phone number. So another A plus. I think I've given them all A pluses, to be honest. Everybody looks amazing.
Well, I mean,
Like, it's so great to look at these.
yeah, and I mean they are all A pluses. They are absolutely 100% A plus. I mean that's the reason why you chose them, and I mean I wouldn't be surprised if they had if they're reaching top tier right now. Um, so I mean in all honesty, yeah, I liked them. I liked them all. It's just I have that one because like I have this thing about in movies where they do the sex scenes or when somebody wears like, like have you ever seen the movie with about Chris Kyle, the American Sniper? No.
No, I don't think I've even heard of that.
Okay. So basically, the sex scene was very super simple. They kissed and then it went to the bedroom, but like they didn't cross the threshold. They just kind of stopped the door closed, and there was the next scene. Like that to me, like if I want to see something of those natures, let's keep it in its place. There's a certain place to go for certain things, and that's the only reason why I feel like some of those need to be like, okay, let's put those over here because I want to just see selfies. Like if I go to our parrots, like I want to see my parrots. I don't want to see, oh, look at this hawk I got. That's a hawk. I want to see parrots. But yeah, the vast majority of those women were fucking knocking it out of the park. And that dude, yeah, I'd like to get in contact with his trainer too. Like I need to know what he's doing.
All amazing.
Yeah.
Well, I think if you make an interesting point actually, and this kind of reminds me of a I'm not on Facebook anymore, but when I
Yeah.
was, there was a group that I was a part of, and it was about posting selfies. So it was a couple of internet friends of mine from like ages ago,
Mm-hmm.
and then more of their friends, like friends of friends, and that. So it was a big circle of people, and so we just posted like regular selfies, but every Thursday it was Thirsty Thursday. And so then you could post pictures that were a bit more like, suggestive
Mm-hmm.
or lewd, I suppose. And I think that was really nice actually,
Mm-hmm.
because you had a day where you could be like, do you know what? I'm feeling sexy, and today is my day, and I'm going to post. And everybody can then go in and appreciate that we're all feeling sexy today.
Yeah.
And I really like that approach for things. And, I think that there might be, I mean, I've never heard of this. What is it? Selfies gone mild? Is that like sort of like that, like this Thirsty Thursday thing that I was just telling you about? Or is
Uh,
it like further down the track than that?
well, let's go to Reddit and find out real quick. Oh, if you look through my search history, yeah, no, like there are many different like it's all over the place from like what is it video games to the water. Oh, come on, Reddit, load for me. Like yeah, it's just all over the place. And like if you have you ever just like tried to like find something niche on Reddit where you're like, yeah, let's try to look for this one little thing, and then there's a subreddit dedicated to it.
Do you know? I think I'm trying to think if I have. Well, I was surprised that there was a Pikmin sub. I mean, I wasn't really, but when I did, because of course there would be a Pikmin subreddit. When I
Mm-hmm.
came across it, I was like quite surprised, and I was like, "Oh, there's loads of people who like Pikmin. Like that's so cute."
Mm-hmm.
And I think I felt that way with like pretty much every sub I found. It's just been like, "Wow, there's a sub for that."
Yeah.
Like the glitch art one was one of them where I was like, "Oh, hell yeah, there's a sub for that." And Like that was a good find. Was that? I love that sub. It's fantastic.
Yeah, Selfies Gone Mild is it like the first like 4 or 5 photos legitimately look like just regular selfies. It's just like a little extra, like a little less, little extra less clothing if that makes sense. I don't.
Oh,
So good.
extra less. But yeah, I think that like I get what you mean though, that like I think like a sexy selfie is in its own category, I think,
Hmm.
compared to like a, you know, like a face, shoulders,
Yeah,
dealio. And it would be good, I think, to be able to, but I think that even the name like selfies gone mild, like I think even if I did have a selfie that I felt fit that description, I feel like the name is quite off-putting of the sub
yeah,
because it, obviously makes reference to Girls Gone Wild.
yeah,
And you sort of expect, do you know what I mean? Whereas I think if there was a more positive, sub about feeling sexy in yourself, and you post sexy selfies.
yeah,
That's something I could get down on. You know what I mean? And I think that, I guess having like a more positive space to feel sexy and stuff like that would be wonderful. And I think it would be someplace that a lot of people would feel quite comfortable. Whereas now, you know, I think, I mean, I don't know what it must be, what it's like to post in that sub because I don't, but I imagine the DMs are not not great as a result of that. But yeah, someplace positive where you can, or even just like a in the I don't know, in like the compliment mate or whatever it's
hmm,
called, free compliments or
yeah. Free
something like that.
compliments.
Having like that, yes, like having that, like a moment where you're allowed to post something that makes you feel like sexy, powerful, something
Yeah,
like that, and you're in a safe space to do so. I think a lot of people would really appreciate that. But I think right now that is such a niche to be able to find some place where you can sort of have this ability to feel sexy, but not be objectified, if that
yeah,
makes sense. And I think that's why you kind of get that mix of stuff in selfies, because it's like, where else do you go at the moment for this
yeah.
specific thing? Um, but I mean, I'm not an expert. I'm not a person who case. So, this is all hearsay. So hopefully somebody who has more initiative.
Yeah, having
Yeah.
having that safe space is always a really good idea. Because the ex that I was actually just referring to, she was a moderator on something very similar to that in a Facebook group where I call it war paint. You know, when you ladies put on all your makeup because it's your war paint. You know, you
Oh,
look,
yeah.
yeah. And so they would do like these makeup things, and then I think it was like every Thursday or Friday, like you were talking about, they would have like, okay, like just whatever you want to do, go for it. And there was like some really awesome stuff. But then the problem was, a lot, if a guy would come into it, he, like he'd maybe be let in, and then all of a sudden he'd be banned a week later because that Thirsty Thursday would come by, and all of a sudden he's just, so it really sucks because at the same time like it's awesome. Like if I want to go see all that shit, that's a dope place to go. But then you have those dudes who just cross the fucking line every so often, and it sucks. But at the same time, like it's like welcome to the internet. This is a place for cats and craziness. So
I know what you mean. It's like, it's a tricky one, is that? Because, I'd love to see change happen in that sense, but, you can't force things like that, unfortunately. We can only make progress, in, the increments that we can.
yeah,
And in the grand scheme of things, I've always said if there's any time to live in, like the present is probably the best and most progressive time, we've ever lived in.
mm-hmm.
Like, I say this as a woman, but, and I think eventually, maybe one day we will get to a point, where I think things will be different and you won't have to deal with like weird DMs and stuff like that. But, I think the best that, we can do as people, I suppose, is to, just keep posting and just, don't engage with people who don't respect what you do,
Mm-hmm.
even if it's just posting a selfie, just, engage with positive people who are going to lift you up. And apparently Toast Me and is the place to go for that. So let's all go to Toast Me and have a fantastic time.
Awesome. I think that's an excellent place to end on a super positive note. Um, you know, did you want to have anything that you want to throw out there to the wide world of internets and let them know about yourself where they can maybe find you?
Yeah, I guess so. So, Obviously, my handle on Reddit is Adrienne Grody. Just spelled like Adrian with a Adrienne, Grody, like as in that's Grody, you know. And I do have an Instagram. It is over to Grody. I don't know how to say that word, but it's French, so I don't know
If
how to say it,
that's
but it
right.
means like works like anyway, that is spelled O-E. I don't remember how to
If
spell.
you want, just send
I
it
just
to me.
haven't.
Send me a link, and I'll put it down in the description below. I can link stuff in my description.
Oh, fantastic. Well, in that case, I'm on Reddit, I'm on Instagram, hit me up on either, and the description is with you. And I just want to say, thank you so much for all of this. Like, this has been so much fun, and I've really had a wonderful time talking to you about everything from gaming to selfies and the works. It's been a blast, and as my first podcast experience, it's just been a great one. So thank you so much.
Well, it's been my absolute pleasure. Hang tight after this. I got a couple quick questions after the fact, and to all the viewers out there, I love all your faces, and we'll see you guys later.